Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Today it's time for a movie review, and better late than never, we're talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. That's right everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. This is
Jelani, Bullard.
And this is Brooks. And
the
Magnificent. I don't want to always be the one to call you the Magnificent. It's making me feel a little too...
You're putting a lot of work on me now, man.
Yeah, you know.
I gotta say my own
you know
title
what I'm saying?
now.
Anyway, today we're talking about Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home is the newest Spider-Man movie, the newest MCU film. And yeah, better late than never. But here we are talking about Spider-Man, and spoilers... There will be spoilers for Spider-Man Far From Home in this video. But first, we're going to give you our spoiler-free thoughts. I thought it was solid, good, decent, not as good as Homecoming, but better than most other Spider-Man films, and one of the best MCU films still. Had a great villain, taking Mysterio and actually making something really cool out of him, because I've never been a Mysterio guy in the comic books. I do like that Kevin Smith Guardian Devil story at Daredevil, but... outside of that, I've never been a Mysterio guy.
Old Man Logan. He tricked...
Even then, I don't care about Mysterio. Really? Yeah, no, he's just
a plot. Really in it, though, so much as, like,
right.
you know...
He's just a plot device. Yeah,
but
right?
It's a good plot device.
Overall, I like this film. I thought it was really good. I love the character interactions for the most part. I do love Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Is still my favorite Spider-Man. Yeah. This is still my favorite version of Spider-Man. It's not as good as Homecoming, but to me, Homecoming may be the best MCU film, so that's just me. Spoiler-free, Jelani, what do you think about Far From Home?
I liked it a lot. I mean, the characters are relatable, once again. I like the story with the school. I love how they explain...
Yeah, this is the first post-Endgame.
Yeah, this is supposed to be... they make that section.
They make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Because we're in spoiler free right now.
You do nice things and you mourn for the heroes, but in this movie, for the aftertake, it's like they make really light of it. And it makes the movie lighter. And you feel it throughout the film that these people, did disappear and they came back. But it's a thing. We're living our lives.
Because they're teenagers.
And they're teenagers.
They're not impressed by anything.
Yeah, not at all. So,
overall,
they
like
disappeared and they came back, and I loved it. I love Mysterio, the way they portray him, because, oh gosh, he's amazing. I love, pretty much, I like MJ. I like MJ more in this movie than I did in Homecoming. And there are a lot of features in this movie that I really, really enjoy.
Okay.
So, yeah, I thought it was a solid film. I think it's like on par with Homecoming.
Okay.
I think it's a continuation of what they're trying to do. And we will talk about other things in spoilers.
All right. So, Brooks, spoiler free, what do you think about Far From Home?
I thought it was really good. This is one of the stronger Marvel films. It has a tendency to kind of catch you off guard, because like the opening, it just starts with Whitney Houston belting out "I Will Always Love You," and they had the whole making it look like Mysterio actually was maybe from another world. I kind of figured that was going to be
wait,
spoiler free.
Well, yeah, but yeah.
If you don't know, Mysterio is the villain. Anyway, but you liked it overall. You thought it was good. Well, on par with Homecoming?
It's tough to say. I'd have to rewatch both of them.
Okay, yeah.
To be able to say for sure.
Right?
It's close,
Yeah.
Either way.
Okay. Let's talk about this real quick. Tom Holland, and by the way, from this point forward, there are going to be spoilers for this film. If you are one of the few who have not seen it by this point, be warned. Tom Holland is, to me, my favorite Spider-Man. I love this kid. He's got the awkwardness of Peter Parker. He's got the nerdiness. He's got the sense of responsibility, even though we never get an Uncle Ben story still.
Not at all.
We get a tiny reference maybe with the briefcase. What, a briefcase?
Yeah.
The briefcase. I carry a briefcase. Anyway, so...
They kind of, in a way, moved Tony Stark into the Uncle Ben role in a way.
They did. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they really
He's
did.
Gone.
And it even gives him more to look up to. So, the first thing I want to say is, I love Tom Holland Spider-Man. Still, to me, the best Spider-Man ever. And don't get me wrong, I love Tobey Maguire. Not so much Andrew Garfield. I love Tobey Maguire, but Tom Holland his Spider-Man films, it's more true to the comic book for me. I understand how the Sam Raimi films with Maguire were closer to the 60s comics, but closer to comics today, that's Homecoming.
It's like
That's
a
Far From
modernization
Home.
of
That's
Spider-Man.
and even in Civil War and Endgame and Infinity War,
Yeah.
like the appearances we've gotten from Tom Holland, they're some of the absolute best. So
They
overall,
are.
what do you think about, at this point now, and like I said, we got like 5 performances
Yeah.
by Tom Holland. Where does he rank as Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, he's my favorite Spider-Man, like without a doubt. He has that awkwardness. He is the one thing that I don't. There are actually 2 things that I don't like that they portray in this very loosely. One, that he's a hard luck hero. He is the street level version of the Avengers, of what the Avengers are.
Yeah.
You get Tony Stark, who's a billionaire, who's, you know, on this side, who can take care of anything. You've got Captain America, who is this big stand-up guy. But then you have Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man should be, like, suffering. Like, I gotta scrap for parts. And they really only touched on that in Civil War. But in this movie, I heard that they had a deleted scene.
Okay.
Where they wanted him to sell off his Star Wars figures to buy the ticket to go on the trip that they went on.
Yeah, okay.
So they cut it out because they thought, you know, it was a little too much to put
There's
in the movie.
a lot cut
But
out
there's
at the
not
beginning of the film. You
But
can
there's
tell.
not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But there's not a street level Spider-Man. That's one thing. The other thing was kind of how they addressed the Spider Sense and how he just didn't have it.
Peter Tingle.
The Peter Tingle. I love that. But yeah, his Peter Tingle didn't work until towards the end of the film.
We never really first saw it until Infinity War.
Right.
That's why the trailer for Infinity War blew everybody away.
Right,
Because you see
his hair
Yeah, exactly,
stand up
right?
on his arms.
But I like the way they handled it.
I like the way they handled that in that scene. I'm just saying the way they're not giving him his spider sense the way he's supposed to have it. And he should have it with the rest of his powers already.
Okay.
So that's the only 2 things I have a problem with this Spider-Man. He is Ultimate Spider-Man to me. So he feels like that Ultimate character the way that he was written at that time. So yeah, he is my favorite. They portray him well. I perceive that this is the Ultimate Universe in some forms, even though they mentioned
the Ultimate
Earth is
Universe,
616.
if you look at that was a lie, though.
That was a lie. So that there are no Earths. There are no multiple Earths.
Or are there?
But you don't know because it.
Brooks, what do you think about Tom Holland as Spider-Man compared to others after 5 performances?
Yeah, I think he's the best probably. He gets. I think it's a lot of it though is like, you know, he gets a lot of good lines. Like the writers of the movies, they always give him like the best.
He's the first super
lines.
jokey one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
he
that's
is.
consistently jokey, but
Andrew Garfield.
jokey in a defensive way. Like that's his defense mechanism in a way.
Like I think his best stuff was in Infinity War when he's working with Iron Man.
Yeah,
and all these
yeah.
other characters, and he's just so goofy.
And then it gets so real when it needs to. So you think Tom Holland's right up there with you? Right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the idea that Tony Stark is kind of the Uncle Ben of the MCU? I think it kind of works. I think it works well. Like, here's the thing, right? You guys know I'm a big Fantastic Four guy.
Yeah.
Well, we know for 100% fact that in the MCU, the Fantastic Four are not going to be the first family.
And they should be.
It's just they should be, but that's not what they shouldn't be in the MCU actually, because the MCU started with Iron Man. So I love this idea in this film how they are showing all this burden on Peter because everybody's expecting. Because where are the Avengers?
Exactly.
Iron Man's dead. Cap's gone. They think Cap's dead.
Yeah.
He just disappeared.
Thor's in space.
Thor's
Right.
What's going on? Black Widow's dead. Hawkeye's killing people.
Yep.
What's going on? Who
No
are
one
the
knows.
Avengers? Right? Hulk's all busted up. Where are the Avengers? There are none at this point. So I really like that they took the time to deal with that. However, I do think that ultimately the distraction from the actual story of Far From Home, even though it fueled his need to want to go away, and we'll get to other things later, but I feel like ultimately the Tony Stark stuff, as cool as I think it works for the MCU, doesn't work so much for me as a solo Spider-Man film. Gets too much in the way. What do you think, Julie?
You think he's like too much?
I think
like,
you
think Iron Man? Is
I think
Iron
it
Man.
slows up the beginning of the film.
Okay.
I think the beginning of this film is super, super slow.
This is an aftermath. This is basically the first movie.
But it distracts to me. It detracts from the actual story of the movie.
The story still progressed.
Because
you
of
just
the
need
tone.
to know.
Yeah, okay.
You needed to know what happened after Endgame anyway. Plus, you're catching up with everyone with his death and how they feel about it.
Yeah.
And the blip and all that stuff. You have to.
You got to address all this.
You got to address it.
To me, it slowed down the movie at the beginning. Did you not feel the movie was a little bit slow at first?
Not really.
Really? Okay.
I didn't mind because I want to know.
Did you feel it was slow, but you didn't mind, or did you not feel like it was slow?
It could be slow. It was slow.
But you didn't mind.
But I didn't care because I want to know.
Brooks,
these.
Tony Stark, the way that he felt so heavy into that movie, how do you feel about that? Tony Stark as the new Uncle Ben.
Oh yeah, well in this continuity, I think it works because Stark is the one who found him.
Yeah.
Basically recruited him to help
gives him his suit.
Cap. He gives him the suit. He entrusts him with all this technology.
And one of my favorite things.
He gives him the glasses too.
Yes.
Like this,
Edith,
which is a big deal.
And it's a big plot.
I mean, what Mysterio does with him is like.
Do you feel like it detracts from the actual plot of the movie? Like I know that the plot of the movie involves that, right? Him getting those glasses, giving them to Mysterio, that all. But that's because. Do you feel like the creators felt like they had to? Like it's shoehorned in almost, like they had to connect it in. They knew this was the first post-Endgame movie.
Because it makes sense,
Okay.
Like especially like in the end
Stark
where
saved
he's
the
designing his
universe.
own suit and Happy's just watching him and he's like, he's doing like what Tony used to do.
Yeah.
Like messing around with all the things.
I will say this: I love the fact that I love all. These are my best Spider-Man suits in film to me, right?
They're getting them right.
All of them. The first one
Iron
he
Spider.
made, the Iron Spider one, the one that he actually gets from Tony at first.
Yeah.
That's used in this film. The
black suit,
the Night
Iron
Monkey.
Night Monkey. That's what it was.
I love Night Monkey.
Night Monkey's
the whole
the best.
idea when Ned's like, no, it's some new French hero. It's Night Monkey, and then it's like Night Monkey spotted in Berlin. Like cracks me up.
Someone did something like Night Monkey.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I loved it, and it's a little allusion to the black costume because we may never get that version of Spider-Man because they've now alluded to the idea that they're cool with doing a Tom Hardy Venom, Tom Holland Spider-Man. Y'all got some explaining to do.
Y'all need to quit getting Sony money. Stop giving Sony money.
Well, anyway.
Sorry. That's a different rant.
All that aside now, let's get into it. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes.
Donnie Darko himself. His greatest film role, in my opinion.
Yeah.
His greatest film is Donnie Darko. To me. It's just one of my...
Mysterio.
I like
Donnie
Nightcrawler.
Darko.
I really do.
What if Mysterio was Donnie Darko? What do you think about
talking
Jake
about?
Gyllenhaal as Mysterio?
After Donnie Darko, he ended up in the Spider-Man.
Right, he didn't die.
In the MCU.
This is what... There are also spoilers for Donnie Darko in this film, by the way. He didn't get hit by a
There's a bunny.
jet. Anyway, so... What if the White Rabbit would have showed up?
What is that?
Anyway, I love Mysterio in this film. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I was not always the coolest. I never thought Mysterio was that cool or threatening. He's even always played in the comic books to be a joke, right? Mm-hmm. But the way that they utilized how his powers work with those drones and all that stuff, they made him very threatening. He is a version of Obadiah Stane, a version of Justin Hammer, if you will. But way more crazy, way more comic book accurate.
Yeah.
And the way that he's using those drones and the technology to create this, and those scenes that were very psychedelic, where Spider-Man's like in the fantasy world fighting Mysterio, those were so comic book accurate. That's exactly how Mysterio F's with Spider-Man.
Like he's in one scene and then the next scene is like some completely different thing.
Right.
What do you think about Mysterio in this film?
I thought he, good.
How does he rank against other Spider-Man movie villains and Spider-Man, like MCU villains? I think he's one of the best MCU villains, even.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah.
But
what'd you like about him? Did you like the changes they made?
Yeah, because that's a good idea to run with Mysterio, is that he's trying to present himself as someone legitimate, as a hero, and because that void is there now with the Avengers gone. It's like, oh, they need heroes.
Yeah.
With all this technology, I can make myself appear to be a hero.
And he's got that disgruntlement against Stark already. You know what it reminds me of? Riddler from Batman Forever, but done right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Same idea.
It is.
What do you think about Mysterio in this film? And Jakey's performance.
Yeah. Jake Gyllenhaal's amazing as Mysterio. He plays the nice guy hero. The problem is I don't know what his main motivation was. I don't know like what his goal was to become an Avenger, but then they find out he's a phony. Immediately.
The goal is that this punk ass kid, Peter Parker, doesn't deserve the inheritance of Stark Industries.
But
because at first it starts with him and everybody else.
Right.
We who worked for Stark, who helped him realize his ambitions and dreams, we deserve this, right? So it's the idea of the disgruntled,
the gross employee.
Right.
Right.
But I love that very quickly he was elevating himself beyond that group.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to have seen more of the group turn against him.
That's what I thought was happening, because he threatened their lives. He threatened them with the drones.
Yeah.
So I really thought that was going to take place, but I think this is the most complex villain that they've had. Now Vulture, like as you said it before, is better, but I disagree.
Yeah,
before
we filmed this, Jelani said Mysterio was his favorite Spider-Man movie villain ever.
Yeah,
and I was like, Vulture exists.
I'm saying Spider-Man villain. I'm saying Spider-Man villain in general.
In general, you think it's Mysterio?
Yeah, I think it's Mysterio.
Oh, come on.
He's got a cheap.
One. I'll give you that in the movie, Jelani, but not in comics. Not in comics.
He is the cheesy. No, I'm saying in this film, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as Spider-Man villains go,
he's his number
which
one
are
villain.
only 2 so far, and maybe that other guy that will be whatever.
Better bring us Norman.
Yeah, and Shocker, but
just Norman.
Norman should count.
It's Norman,
but. Right now, I think Mysterio. I'll tell you why.
No, because
I'll tell you
Vulture's
why.
still a looming threat, man.
Yeah, Vulture can be still
way
a looming
more
threat.
menacing.
But he uses his powers. Mysterio is using his trickster powers to play on Spider-Man, especially in the mid-credit scene, which in the book of the first appearance of Vulture, where like Vulture is framing Spider-Man for
first
something
appearance of Vulture
done.
is Spider-Man #2.
Yeah,
Amazing Spider-Man #2.
That's what I'm saying. So you get.
Yeah.
Him framing him for a crime he didn't commit.
I would have loved to seen a little bit more connect about him and Vulture and maybe Shocker. And, we all had this idea.
They do the biggest thing ever. Tell them about the mid-credit scene.
I had this big idea about the mid-credit scene. I boldly said here on the channel that it was going to be Norman Osborn leading in the Dark Reign. Well, that's not the case. Yeah. It was the fact that Spider-Man's identity gets revealed to the public by Mysterio. Do you think Mysterio's dead? Because I don't.
I can't say, because... He could be or he couldn't be.
That's a cop-out. Right. What about you?
I think he's dead.
Definitively, he's dead. I say he's not, and you're in between.
Yeah.
Okay, in between.
I think he's dead.
So let's talk about the supporting characters. We got MJ.
Yeah. Played
by
Zendaya,
Disney pop star.
She's a Disney pop star.
Okay.
Yeah.
I loved her in Homecoming. I like her in Far From Home. My only thing is this: one of my problems with this movie, one of my biggest problems with this movie, is that Peter goes from all infatuated with Liz to becoming an Avenger to getting blipped out of existence and coming back to all of a sudden now it's like MJ's been the love of his life.
I can believe that.
Yeah,
and
he's a teenager.
He's got this grand plan.
And I also like the Ned's relationship.
Ned and Betty?
Ned and Betty is the best.
Ned and Betty are the best.
It's so funny because I remember relationships in high school being like that.
It's just like that.
It was like it's the same.
I love how grown up it was.
Yeah.
Especially by the end of it.
Yeah.
I just think, me personally, I would have liked to have seen the relationship blossom between MJ and Peter be a little bit more organic, a little less forced. To me, it was forced because they spent so much time dealing with the after effects of Endgame. So they forced in that's my flaw with the movie. That is, to me, the flaw in the movie is that the movie feels slow and rushed at first, at the same time. Because they're rushing in this MJ love story, and they're being really slow with it because they're interjecting all the stuff about Endgame. What do you think about MJ in the film?
I loved MJ. This is the best.
I love her in the film. Do you not think
that
that was forced too much?
I don't think so. I mean, I think
okay,
because they're teenagers, they're kids.
Yeah,
and this is how kids act. I remember how I acted when I was a kid. I was probably worse than that.
Yeah, yeah, we were.
So worse than that. So I mean, I think it wasn't forced. I think that she has always liked him.
Okay.
That's why she's always been that weird and awkward, because that's her defense mechanism.
Yeah.
She even says it before she thinks she's about to die by the drones.
Yeah, she does.
And she does. She says she uses it as a defense mechanism. So it feels like MJ is getting more fleshed out.
Yeah.
And she's not everyone's MJ, but she's my favorite MJ.
Yeah, I think she's great. I love her. What do you think about?
Yeah.
What do you think about MJ in this one?
I liked her. I think she had a lot more agency than like
Any other MJ?
Say Kirsten Dunst MJs.
Yeah, for sure.
She's not so much the damsel.
No,
like
not at all.
she's in danger and she does need rescuing, but
but
she's
so
not
is
like
Flash.
Yeah.
You know.
She's in a group of
So's Ned.
So's Ned.
kind of a damsel group, I guess.
Some of the other members of the supporting cast, I love Ned, I love Betty, I love their whole thing. I really love Flash Thompson.
Flash Thompson's such a dude.
I wish we would have gotten more Flash Thompsons out of the supporting cast, and I love the teachers in this film.
I love the teachers.
Demons! Witches! Witches! It's witches. I know I'm a man of science. But witches.
Oh yeah.
What do you think about the supporting cast?
The teacher that had his wife like fake being blipped so
Yes.
she could get married.
Poor guy.
It's like, oh man, so she could leave him. That was great, man. DB Smooth, I think it's DB Smooth, is the other teacher, and he is hilarious. Yeah,
Witches.
The witches. Everything about it. I even liked the kid that was stayed behind and grew up 5 years.
Yes.
The one that was like messing with
The
Peter.
kid that was into MJ
Yeah.
and took a
caught
picture
him
of him. Like,
taking his clothes off.
Like, straight up, I'm going to be real with you. You don't need to be taking pictures in the bathroom. Like, right? What do you think about the supporting cast? How's it work out for you?
Well, they were good. Nobody felt like they didn't belong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very kind of tight knit cast. I think that work well together and work well off of each other.
I think overall we really enjoy this film. Yeah. Very excited to see what's going to happen for the future of Spider-Man in the MCU. So now we're going to get into the ratings. We do 5. Yeah, digs here is the best score. What?
Can we? I know you're doing it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's one character, man, that I really want to touch on. I really want to talk about it, and it's Nick Fury.
Oh, Nick Fury in this film. Let's
we didn't talk about Nick Fury.
I was going to say Ben Reilly.
Before this movie came up, I thought Nick Fury was the chameleon.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
That would've been cool.
But instead, he's what's his name from?
He's a Skrull. He's Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
From the Skrull Talos.
From
Captain Marvel. And he's been Captain Marvel all this time. And that was the end credit scene. And what I noticed throughout the movie, and I guessed it kind of in the movie, I was like, that's not Nick Fury. Because Nick Fury, first of all,
I thought he was
wouldn't
too
drag
dumb.
Spider-Man. He was dumb as rocks. Yeah. How are you going to believe Mysterio?
That's why I thought he was chameleon. I was like, there's no way Nick Fury's going to go for Spider-Man.
Right.
Like, if he needs help saving the world.
You call someone else. You call Captain Marvel for this. You don't pick up, first of all, Spider-Man. Keep calling Spider-Man for this. You show Mysterio or tell Mysterio who he is. He's just like, anyway.
Yeah.
There should be layers and layers to Nick Fury. He was telling him how dumb he was, how Spider-Man was dumb, and all. He was just berating him through the movie, and I'm like, that's not Nick Fury. I don't know how they. I hate it. I did not like Nick Fury, but I knew it wasn't him.
Obviously, Fury is in a satellite. It's maybe the peak from Sword. That's why that comic book, Astonishing X-Men, went up by Joss Whedon. But do you think what is this a lead-in into? Is it a lead-in into Sword and the peak?
I hope so.
To me, what I think this is going towards is the Kree Skrull War.
Yeah, they're going to do some kind of big...
Because they mentioned that. They mentioned Kree sleeper cells.
20th Century Fox owned... Did they own the Skrulls? They own the Skrulls?
They both own the Skrulls.
Okay.
They were both able... but that's why they didn't use the Skrulls maybe in the first Avengers film. But now they're able to use them, but still... The Skrulls are Avengers characters. They're Fantastic Four characters. And
Fantastic Four was owned by Fox.
I don't think Secret Invasion is where they're going to. I think it's going to be something more along the lines of the Kree Skrull.
It should be Kree Skrull.
And I think they want us on the side of the Skrulls.
Yeah, because now they're the good guys.
That's what the MCU has done so far, including Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Adam Warlock's still a hanging plot.
Yeah. Adam Warlock is not going to be a factor in the MCU.
You
trust
don't
me.
think?
No. If he's not...
Why introduce him in Guardians then? Why bring it up?
I think Adam Warlock will be a factor, but not a factor. I think he will be a factor to the Guardians films, but not to the overall MCU. If he was going to be a factor,
he would have done it already.
They should have already.
They've already done it with Thanos.
They've already done the Thanos story.
Yeah, so they're not gonna do.
What, you honestly think that doppelgangers of Spider-Man are going to show up in the next 5 movies?
But
why not, man?
Why not?
Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock was before Thanos.
I'm going to be honest with you guys, man. I'm going to tell you this, and maybe this is not going to be the most popular thing to say.
Oh, gosh.
if you look at the history of Marvel Comics, right?
Mhm.
Adam Warlock is
He's a blip.
a blip.
He is a blip. He's only major in the Infinity War.
And that's it, because he very quickly goes into irrelevancy,
Right.
and he has never come out of that, has he? Even in the recent
well,
Infinity
he's part
War
of the
story,
cosmic,
but even in the recent
stuff.
Infinity War story, it's worthless. Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
He's worthless.
He is worthless.
He's nothing like.
Not. But he's still. He's
But
the
they're
general
beyond
that they
Infinity
didn't
War.
use. I know. He's the general they didn't have.
Yeah.
And that makes
Well,
me
you never
mad
know.
that
They may
didn't
try
do it.
to like
He should have been there from the
maybe
beginning.
transition the Guardians into Infinity Watch. at
Oh,
some
they're
point.
done, man.
They're done with that.
They're gonna put Warlock in
Infinity
Guardians,
Stones are
but Guardians
gone.
3 will probably be the last one. Anyway, this is all speculation about future things.
Anyway, yeah.
Thank
But
you for
this is
bringing
not-
up the
I'm
Skrull
sorry,
stuff.
I
That
had
made
to,
us-
man.
yeah, that made us think
Nick
about that.
Fury, just whatever.
Did you like the little twist at the end that Fury was a Skrull?
Yeah, I thought it made sense because
Do you think it's leaning into like Secret Invasion, or what do you think they're leaning more into Kree Skrull? Do you think they're going somewhere else? Galactus to me should
Yeah.
be like a
Galactus should be huge.
yeah.
Yeah.
Lead into that for a
And
while.
hopefully
some kind
make
of
him look like
big
he's supposed
cosmic type event where
But I think they need an Earth event too.
yeah,
and
well,
that's
it's
why
gonna
I
be
thought-
like it's gonna be Earth is gonna be the battleground.
That's
for
why I
the
thought
cosmic
Dark Reign
event,
would have been
I
so
think.
perfect to like
Yeah.
lead into.
So like the Guardians and Thor are gonna have to come back to Earth to help
Yeah.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
and whatever.
just
Avengers
like
are left.
yeah.
And Captain Marvel have to come back.
But you don't want
Maybe
to
Captain
repeat the
Marvel
same
actually
story.
have like a threat worthy of
Or let the Earth have a little story that they themselves, the Earthbound heroes, solve, but then the outer cosmic story comes in, the
Comes in
Annihilation Wave or the
Right.
Kree-Skrull War,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
something like that. So we do ratings here in form of ya digs. Out of 5 possible ya digs, Jelani, what do you give Spider-Man Far From Home?
I'm going to give it... I'll give it a 4.
4 ya digs.
I'll give it 4.
Why 4?
It's a solid movie. It's a Spider-Man movie. It's the one I wanted. It's the one that tells the further adventures of Peter Parker. You're doing a great job. If you make a third one and you have J. Jonah Jameson in it,
Oh my goodness, yes, the J. Jonah Jameson.
there's
by the
a
way.
reveal.
That's the best part of the film.
That's the best thing. It's J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons from the original Spider-Man trilogy. J. Jonah Jameson is J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU. It's so gorgeous, and the fact they made him in this film, yeah, this makes it a good solid 4.
Good solid 4.
Good solid 4.
Brooks, out of 5 possible ya digs, what do you rank Spider-Man Far From Home?
I'd give it a 4 too.
4.
It's well above average,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't. I mean, there are MCU films I think that are better.
Yeah.
But not too many.
Not too many, but
Okay.
they're out there.
I kind of hate to say it, but I am right there with y'all. 4 ya digs. This is the first time since Avengers
Wow.
we've agreed, isn't it? I think it is.
so.
4, 4, 4 for an average of 4 because I think it's good. It's got a little bit of a slow start. I feel like the MJ stuff is forced in there, the relationship. However, it's a great film that really makes a worthless villain in the comic books something really cool and threatening. I love Spider-Man Far From Home. So 4 ya digs, 4 ya digs, 4 ya digs for an average of 4. What do you give it? How many ya digs out of 5? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for checking out the video. We'll be back very shortly with our audience choice movie review for Mortal Kombat, the 1996 classic. Anyway, thank you so much. For more movie reviews, comic book reviews, and other things like that, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Join us at Pop Culture Philosophers podcast and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. This has been
Jelani Bullard.
This has been
Brooks, magnificent.
We are Pop Culture Philosophers. Thanks for joining the army. You dig?